flow. Before any appearance of two, there is one. Before any appearance of many, there is one. It is to find out what is that one that is before the appearance of two. What is that one? In what is everything united? Truth is universal. It's bigger than universal. Truth is one. Truth cannot be spoken. Truth cannot be understood with the mind. Truth does not exist out here. Truth is the one that is before the appearance of two, the one that is before the appearance of many. And yet that one appears as two. And that one appears as many. But what is that one? It is to find out what is that one. How are you that one? Cannot work it out with the mind. This knowledge, this pure knowledge, is the knowledge of the self. And you can only land in the grace of pure self-knowledge through being here, being yourself. Being yourself in a way that the mind cannot fathom how to be the self, how to be myself. And yet the heart knows. There is a knowing in the being that is the knowing of the heart. The truth is one. We could say the seeming paths to this truth are many, but the truth is one. And that is why we speak of the resonance, because as these words come, these words are expressing the coded, flowing patterning of consciousness here now. We could say these words are expressing a tapestry. They're expressing all of the colors, all of the weaves and wefts of the tapestry. But you will only fall into resonance with certain colors, certain patterns, because they are your way to know this truth, to know the one that you are. It's the same one. There is only one, only one. But the resonance is your map. The resonance is what guides you into your heart that knows. The resonance is where what is spoken lands, not as information, not as external knowledge. It's where you feel alignment, attunement, and a resonant knowing that is truth beyond what is expressible, explainable, and it is inside you. The you that it is inside is this moment. It's not inside your humanness. It's inside this moment. It's inside the being that you are. It's inside the felt sense of existence. There is the knowing of the one before the appearance of two. the knowing of the one before the appearance of many. It is to know the truth that you have always known. To know the truth that you have always known. The knowing of this truth that you have always known is the knowing of the self. It is the knowing of the being that you are, the being that you have always been. It's the knowing of the divine nature, the divine reality, before the appearance of 2 and 3 and 4 and 10 and 20 and 1,000 and 1,000,000,000, right? We get so distracted in the play of many, in the play of me and other, in comparison, in an illusion of separation. This quest to know yourself is to know who you are, who you have always been before the appearance of 2. There is nothing external that can give you this truth. Anything that seems to be external will either be leading you away from yourself, or it will be resonating at a frequency where you are only to gather the resonance, you're only to gather the attunement that drops you deeper. There is an autonomy in the self. There is a power in the self, and that power is the knowing of who you are in your own innermost being. If there is any seeking externally for confirmation or for teachings, this will essentially, it might be a support, but essentially it is not the deepest truth of the one, because where there are 2, there is differentiation, there is separation. Anything that appears external, that seems to be guiding you, is only guiding you for you to know the oneness, that there are not 2, that there is only one. And the one is known in the light of being. The one is known in the heart of being yourself. Mm. It is so powerful to be guided to your own knowing, so powerful to be guided to the self that you are, and to receive the full invitation to recognize this knowing inside, in the innermost being. And yet what is powerful in the self, true power in the self, is very scary to the mind. So here's another clue. The mind will usually have some kind of patterning that it wants to make an allegiance in duality. It wants to make an allegiance with another. It wants to get confirmation and validation from the external, because it has learned this patterning. It has learned how to be validated externally. And essentially, this is it's a great pattern of disempowerment. It's where we constantly give power away, let's say. We give the self away. We give truth away by looking for validation, confirmation, and to create allegiance in the play of the world. Mm. Love wants nothing from you. Love wants nothing from you. Love is the one. Love is the one truth. Love is what is here before the appearance of two. As soon as the appearance of two comes, there's a bargaining. There's a ping pong match happening on some level. And it is a play of power. So it is to come before the appearance of two to the one, where power is pure potentiality, where power is pure aliveness, where power is pure knowledge, where power is love. Love, where there is nothing else but love. True power, true aliveness, the self, the one that you are, that you have always been. So as these words come, it is to receive the resonance, to go before any idea of a teaching, any idea of two, any idea of someone having something or giving you something. It's to fall into the true aliveness of the flow, where the self is giving itself to itself, where love is loving itself. And that is all that is happening. That there is just a flow, a flow, a flow. And when you start to feel this flow, you start to feel the oneness, and the oneness flowing is grace, is grace, is grace. So you fall in to the flow of grace, where you are carried into the knowing of the heart. And the confirmation is in the innermost being. The confirmation is in yourself. The confirmation is the truth that you have always known. You are not giving anything away. You are not giving anything to anyone. This is a meeting before the appearance of two. A meeting where relationship, meeting, it all dissolves into the remembering of oneness. All ideas dissolve, all beliefs dissolve, all concepts and ideas dissolve into the truth of the heart, into the truth that you have always been, into the truth that you are the one that just is. And the knowing of the one is knowing of the self. It is to receive true darshan from the light of yourself. Receive the grace of the light of knowing yourself, gazing into the light of your own illuminated heart, gazing into the light of your own radiance, right here, now. Let go of all concepts of two. Let all ideas of two dissolve into the one that has always been here before the appearance of two. The mind loves two. The mind loves more than two. It creates other in order to confirm itself. It creates other so that I can be right. It creates other to create comparison. It creates other and holds this idea of other in order to maintain powerlessness, hopelessness. It is committed to an idea that it needs, that it desires, that it wants, and that it can fulfill its needs and desires and wants in other things, other people. This is the illusion, and this is the illusion that will perpetuate the play of separation. It is the illusion, illusion, not real, not real. Reality, reality is before the appearance of two. Right here now, the simplicity of just being here, the feeling of your own existence, to feel existence itself, the felt sense of your existence is the existence. The felt sense of your being is the being. Just simply being here. Even in a nanosecond, can confirm the oneness, can confirm the simplicity of just being. Yes, appearance plays as a multiplicity. Plays as diversity. But it is to find out, from where does all this arise? What is here? What has always been here before things, before the notion that I is separate and a singular point of a body mind, before the notion I is someone with a story, and all of the believing and all of the identification that is the cycle of misery. When we recognize the simple being that we are, we can be free of the cycle of misery, which is the cycle of being identified as someone, the cycle of victimization. We can be free of that to recognize the one being, and that everything that is flowing as life is not a cycle of misery. It is a cycle of transformation. It is the way, it is the unfolding of the path. It's a cycle. It's not a path that is laid out in front of you. It's a path that is perpetuating itself out of consciousness itself, transforming, transmuting, recalibrating, healing in the truest sense, is refining and refining and refining everything into being. It's not playing out on the surface of life, cycling around in the maze of the mind. And when you know the being that you are, the one that you are, there can be this graced receiving as life offers you to yourself, offers the self to itself, refining, clearing, healing, transforming, revealing, offering this incredible discovery while living out exactly what is needed to take you deeper and deeper and deeper into more and more clarity and recognition of the purity and immaculate perfection of the true nature. And in the knowing of this, all of life is seen as only perfection. There can be no good and bad, right and wrong, good and evil, right? In the one, there's only one. You are that one. You are that one right now. Everything is that one. But you cannot know the one by looking in the many, like an Easter egg hunt, a treasure hunt, running around, scrambling around on the surface of life, trying to follow the clues. If you are following the clues on the surface of life, you will just keep distracting away and away and away. It is to come right to the hub, come to the discovery of the one that you are right here now. And when you know the one that you are, that you know the one that all is, you know the one that is. So as these words come, it is to feel the resonance. It is to feel where the light goes on, where there is an enlivening, where there is an aliveness in your knowing, where there is a resonant enlivening, coming to life. Can feel the aliveness of the heart, can feel the enlivening when there is recognition. It feels like a quickening or a heating or just an aliveness. It's where there's attunement and alignment, and then the flow of grace. Can start to feel the flow of grace. And the flow of grace is that flow where there is knowing, where there is recognition. And this is the invitation to attune to that knowing, attune to the knowing that is the knowing of the heart, the knowing of the self. The mind will pull the attention away 1,000,000 times before there is a deep landing. The mind will say, is this it? This is not it. Can't be it. Could it be? Could it be? But it's not for the mind to be the authority. It's to recognize that the authority of the heart is supreme. The authority of the heart is supreme. Mm. There is a little story of a master and a student. It comes from the Zen tradition. And there is guidance and guidance, and the student goes away and does the practice, does the work, has a flash of revelation and comes back to the master and says, Master, is this it? I think I have seen the light. And the master sends the student away again. And there's another flash, another revelation, and the student comes back and says, I think this time I have seen the light. Is this it? And the master sends the student away again. And this happens a number of times. And at some point the master recognizes the student has not come back and feels the light that just is, and recognizes that the knowing has dawned, that the knowing has dawned, right? The next time that the master sees the so-called student, there's just the light, no questions, no looking for validation, just the light, just the light. Just the knowing of the one. The knowing of the heart is supreme. The self knowing the self is supreme. There is no other authority greater. The self itself, the one, where there is only one, there is no question. Is this the one? Is this the one? Is there only one? So, until there is only one, it is to keep dissolving 2, keep dissolving 10 into one, right? Keep dissolving any appearance of duality in its simplicity and complexity into the one. This is refinement into the being. This is the process of refinement. This is the process of bringing everything that seems to be separate into the unified remembering of the one that is. This is the graced way that life plays. If there is something challenging on the surface of life, it's because there's the appearance. It's in a play often of relationship dynamics. There's resistance, there's a trigger, because there's an appearance of 2. So where there's an appearance of 2 or more, or world even, the collective, right? Or however that appears, it's to recognize the trigger. And the way that refinement happens is to recognize the trigger in your nervous system, because the trigger in your nervous system indicates there's separation, there seems to be more than one here. So it's not about trying to work it out in the story. It's to receive the charge in the nervous system that gives the indication there's relationship to a past, relationship to some kind of dynamic that's playing out, old feelings, old stress. karmic energies, whatever we want to call this. But it's the indicator that something is being stirred. And then the opportunity to refine it into being is to just be wide open in your true nature and receive the stress. Allow the stress to just move and release through the nervous system in utter simplicity without the complication of story and interpretation. Just to allow refinement to happen. It's counterintuitive to what has been learned in the life. And yet it is the most profound, simple intuition in truth. It's to be with life the way that animals are with life. Shake it off. Let it go. You see, we have learned to protect. We have learned to defend. And in that we hold on. We hold on and we build up stories and protection and defense. We build up ideas and concepts. We build up a persona created out of false knowledge. We build up a persona. We build up a story of my life. But we are here to be free. We are here to live the freedom of true nature right on the surface. And it is the ultimate service to live true nature right on the surface. But the first service work is the work to clear all of the karmic obscurations, all of the karmic obscurations that create identification, all of the karmic obscurations that create the appearance of me and mine, to dissolve the illusion of separation, see through it. But it is not a project in time. It's an immediate, clear knowing. And it is here now. Right here now. It's this moment without a story. This moment without a story has no body. This moment without a story has no one. It just is. It just is, and you just are. The one graciously appears as many, and the one is here to live its appearance, its expression, its divine expression on the surface of life. The divine expression cannot be fully lived when there is identification, where there is a me, where there is a mine. Can get so embroiled and distracted in the particulars of stories that are just a distraction, that are not important. Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. We're so addicted to the drama, so addicted to yes, but, this, trying to work out these relationships, trying to work out how to win at life. This is not what we are here for. It is just a distraction. We are not here to even know how. The map is in your knowing. The map is in your knowing, in the truth of who you are. The more you listen to the resounding knowing of the heart, that is resounding silence, the more you listen to this knowing, the clear map, let's say, unfolds in the moment out of the wisdom. The only way is here now. The path is here now. And it is a path that carries you deeper into yourself, It is not a path of meandering on the surface of life, although it will play as a path of meandering on the surface of life until it dries up, until it is no longer fueled. The mind cannot understand, and the mind wants to know. And this is the great surrender. The great surrender is to not know. The great surrender is into the not knowing of the mind and the pure, simple, graced knowing of the heart. The knowing of who you are, the knowing of the one, the knowing of the being that just is, the one that has always been, the one that always will be. It is to see how distracted the mind can be in its inner chatter, the conversations that the mind has with itself. All about me, all about past, all about future, all about protection and defending, all about what I want, all about what I need, right? Just to see it, just to shine the light upon it. Where are you as the light that shines upon the moving, changing? Recognize that you are the light of awareness. You are the light shining upon. You are not the content of experience. You are the knower of experience. To start with. There is nothing more precious than the knowing of the heart. Nothing more precious. It's immeasurable. It is grace. It is unrecognizable by the mind as being of any value. And this is why it is constantly overlooked. It is more precious than anything worldly or earthly. Whatever you could imagine in the mind, that is the most precious thing. It is a million gazillion times more precious than that. Your knowing, the knowing of the heart, this moment, the silence, the being, constantly overlooked and not valued, because to the mind it says there's nothing there, there's no one there. I do not get it, I do not see it, I cannot tangibly explain that, and therefore I will ignore it, and I will carry on in my search. And that search of someone will continue on and on and on, and the trips will come, the traps will come, the challenges will come, because this is the way that life brings us to our knees. It is, for some curious reason, only when we are on the knees that we ask the big questions. It's so easy, even when there has been some degree of clarity, to come back to what I want, what I need, what I like. It is just to see it, just to see it. And where are you seeing from? Where is the light that shines upon the content of experience? Where is the light that shines upon the content of experience? Where is the light that illuminates the appearance of two? Where is the light that illuminates the appearance of many? Find the light, find the source, find out who you are, find out the self that just is, and rest in the holy truth, the one truth that has always been. Before any kind of division or differentiation, where there is nothing to believe, because experience has no content. And when experience has no content, it is direct and pure, immaculate, wildly alive in the knowing, pure knowledge, pure self-knowledge. It is just light where there is no content. True experience is direct. It's the luminous, illuminated effulgence of the self where there is no content. It is the light that is silence. It is the light that is divine reality. It is the light that is ever shining, ever present. It is the light of the self shining as itself, seeing itself in its own knowing of itself. Does not see itself in reflection anymore. The world, the play of the world, of my world, it is a reflection of consciousness. It's a reflection of consciousness. And it is just here to reflect what we cannot see. We could say our blind spots. It's here reflecting the consciousness. If there is no identification at a singular point, then there's no one to take the reflection personally or as a story. There's the ability to see it, but not be identified with it. And when consciousness collapses into itself, when the self knows itself and only itself, there is no more reflection. And in no more reflection, no more world, no more trouble. The self sees only itself. And there is only one can only see itself. It may look very similar, but there's no trouble, no trouble. Just love, just love, just light, just the self shining in and of itself, knowing only itself. Before the appearance of two, there is one. You are that one. That one is truth. That one is the self. That one is God. That one is grace. That one is Brahman. That one is the Supreme. That one is who you have always been in truth. That one is who you are now. That one is who you will always be. That one is this one, this timeless one that just is. Before the appearance of two, of many, there is one. The knowing of the One is the heart. It is the wide open, infinite heart that is love, unconditioned, life, unconditioned. It flows as grace. And right here now, the mind cannot imagine, how do I get to grace? How do I make grace happen? Take me to grace. Impossible. Grace is here. It is the flowing river of your knowing. It is being here now, where the river of grace is flowing. It is to be here in the silent knowing of the heart, the silent knowing of being. Only here is grace flowing. As long as there is any thread of wanting or needing for a me, grace will seem elusive. At the dropping of everything, you fall into the river and you are being carried. And that being carried is the knowing, can feel it without question. And it is here that the truth is alive as the knowing of the heart. It is the only power, the only authority, is the self-knowing itself. It is nowhere other than the self, nowhere other than here now. It is the effulgence of this moment, shining, shining, shining.